Hi everyone. We're now going to talk briefly about converting between lists and strings. Now, it turns out that lists and strings are actually very similar. As we have already discussed, lists are a ordered collection of elements. A string is also a sequence of elements, except the sequence is of characters. So Python actually will store strings and lists underneath the hood the same way, but we use strings differently than we use lists. So let's look at these examples. So if I have a string like wahoo, and I want to convert it to a list, if I do list of the string, it basically converts it to a list of individual characters. So as we see here, when I print out the list A, I get the string of wahoo, like ba wah, ah, ha, ooh, ooh, hmm. Now, let's say that I have a list of strings, such as A, which is the list containing WAHO exclamation point. I can join that back into a string by using the .join method. So I'm doing .join on a string. So in this case, it's the empty string. And what it does is it connects every string and puts this string between it. So it's going to take all of these letters and put the empty strings between them. So if let me just comment this out. So if I print this, it prints out wahoo. Now imagine if I put a dash here. It would put the dash between everything in A. So now when I run this, I would get W followed by a dash, A followed by a dash, etc., etc. Now, in this example, it doesn't have to just be characters. A is a list of strings, partially is Garsley. Now, what it's going to do is join them all with a space. So now when I print this out, it's partially is Garsley. And again, if I put a dash, it'll put a dash between partially and a space, between the space and is, and so on. So now it is what we expected. Now another different list operator which will allow us convert between strings and lists is the .split method. We talked about it in the string week, but it's worth mentioning again. So let's say we have the list, how are you doing today? Or the string. So if I do s.split, I say a is equal to s.split, and I print a. Basically, .split will split on the spaces and all the white space. So now I get, how are you doing today? I could split explicitly on the spaces, in which case I get the same thing. Now let's say that I had dash, 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 dash. So if I split on the spaces, I would just get everything because there are no spaces. But if I split on a dash, then it would get me what I got before, which is how are you doing today? So one way that, just to show how you can use split and join interchangeably, if I do print join on the dashes, the s.split on the dashes, this will basically split s on the dashes, then join it back with dashes. So if I run this, then I just get the string that I started with. So these are some different methods you can use to convert between strings and lists, something which we often do when we're parsing strings, and something which is very useful.